So I want to talk about what was quite expected, the Nikon bashing. It has already started. It's almost like the Z5 was launched to encourage to sort of start another round of Nikon bashing, and it has already started. This is angry photographer, and then there quite a few YouTubers all over the world, right? They've all come out and started finding faults in the Z5, and they all ignore the purpose of that camera. They all ignore the kind of people who are going to buy it. They compare it with X-T3 or X-T4 or A7 with A7 III or Canon RP. In fact, I would say that it doesn't even compare with Canon RP. I think Nikon with the Z5 is creating, like I said in the last video, is creating a new segment altogether, a viable new segment. See, the Canon RP was a great first attempt to create a segment, but I think Nikon has actually done the job of realistically making that segment work for a larger base of consumers. I mean, how is the Nikon comparable to the RP? Really, how? Apart from the fact that they are below 1500 US dollars. 1500 US dollars is about 1,20,000 rupees. Yeah. Let me read out a few specs, right? The first thing, there is no camera whatsoever. There is no camera in that price point that has an IBIS. And a lot of people will say that IBIS doesn't matter. Well, it does matter for a lot of people. The X-T4 is selling primarily on IBIS. I mean, fundamentally, the X-T4 is better than the X-T3 only because it has the IBIS. Yeah, there is the better, higher shutter life. There is also that the flip screen. Yeah, but a lot of people don't like the flip screen. But the reason why opinions unite around the greatness of X-T4 is all because of the IBIS. So I guess that's a big deal, right? But you get a 5-axis, 5-stop IBIS full frame camera, even at a price point even cheaper than that of the X-T4. So I think people should recognize what Nikon has done there. I think that just by adding the IBIS, the camera is of much better value. It's a far more viable camera for someone to purchase and think of using for a longer time. Because you see, if you have, especially if you're a long-term Nikon user, if you have a lot of Nikon lenses with you, not the D lenses, the G lenses or the autofocus or the other AFS lens with you, then all those lenses can be used with the adapter, and the adapter really works well. I mean, anyone who tells you that the adapter doesn't work well, they're telling you lies. The adapter really does work well. And there are a lot of other points also. Let me go through them. Yeah, the dynamic range. A lot of people are saying that, you know what, it's the older sensor, is the 24.3 MP megapixel older sensor must have been taken from the D750. Okay, so what? I mean, okay, it's not a BSI sensor. Maybe it's a sensor that is based on the sensor that's there in D750, but I'm sure it's an improved version. A lot of people have, in fact, the angry photographer, he doesn't go by the name of angry photographer anymore. He's not talking about how it doesn't have a phase detect autofocus, and the Nikon's website says it has phase detect autofocus. That's just lying about it. I don't think that these things help anyone. So it's going to have the same autofocus system as claimed by Nikon. Yeah, it's going to be slightly lesser resolution than the Nikon Z6 and probably not the same sensor. Definitely not BSI, but it's a full frame sensor. And have you seen the pictures that come out of the D750? They're fantastic. They have fantastic, the camera has fantastic low light capability. It focuses almost in darkness. So today, when you have you can call it the Z5, the second generation of the Z camera, Z series of cameras. When you see an updated Z body coming in, even if that sensor is going to perform much better. Look, I know only as much as you guys do, right? I mean, you have to base your judgments on what's been published by Nikon. Then the Z5 is weather sealed. The Canon RP is not. It has 1/8,000 of a shutter speed. Canon RP doesn't have that. So you already have 3-4 things to talk about. You have a weather sealed body. You have 1/8,000 of a second shutter speed, highest shutter speed. You have a fantastic stabilizer IBIS system. You have the much better Nikon files. You have almost the double battery life compared to the Canon RP or even the XT3, and you also have proper silent shooting, unlike the Canon RP. You have 5-stop exposure compensation compared to, I think, 2-stop exposure compensation for Canon RP. Then you have an innovation there. You have direct charging while shooting through USB-C. Now these other cameras don't have that. You cannot ignore all that value packed into a $1,400 dollar body or a 1,10,000 rupees body. That's a lot that's being packed in that body. And, and you know, it's almost like people are trying to find fault with it. It's like people are trying to pick on Nikon. I mean, they're just nitpicking. Yeah, it has 4.5 frames per second shooting in continuous shooting, but it's got a decent buffer, right, of 100 shots. In fact, in the last video I spoke about how I wish Z5 will come with somewhere between 135 to 150 shots buffer. It has 100 shots, which is not bad, right? So if you're shooting continuously, if it's a wedding for example, it's going to give you auto exposure for 4.5 seconds, 4.5 frames per second, and you can keep shooting for 100 shots. That's a lot of movements, and it's going to be adequate for most use cases. Of course, it's no sports shooters camera, it's no wildlife shooters camera. The Z50 for that, in fact, that's a fantastic camera for sports shooting. It's got 11 frames per second, I think 11 or 12. Yeah, it's pretty fast. The autofocus is quite good on that, on Z50. In fact, they have just released animal IF as well. So I think if you're looking to find real solutions, you will find a lot of value in the Nikon bodies. But unfortunately, the internet is this place where I think there are these people who push Sony, and there's a bunch of people who are like enamored by Canon, and then the rest of the people are just in love with Fuji. Now, Fuji is a lovable, beautiful camera, but you know, all their cameras are beautiful. What lovely cameras to look at and to use. You know, they're beautiful. There's a lot to like about the Nikons as well, especially the Z system. So I would say that, guys, look at the camera for what it has to offer, just how you would look at a tool for the use it's going to provide you. I mean, think about how you want to be treated, or think about how you treat your own friends. You should ideally look at people for what they're good at. I mean, everyone is imperfect. Now, this great, fantastic camera, Canon R5, people are going nuts. A lot of people are going nuts about the fact that it overheats even in 4K. Can't shoot 4K for more than 15 minutes by a lot of reports. So, I mean, no camera is perfect. But the point is, let's evaluate a camera, let's evaluate a lens, let's evaluate a system for what it's going to do for you, not for what it's not going to do for you. If you're looking for the perfect camera, then I mean, I don't think there is a perfect camera. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Please keep coming back. Please subscribe and press the bell button. We're going to have a lot more interesting conversations in future. See you soon. Thank you.